I'm Dr. Greg Anderson, the president of VDP International, and it is my privilege to introduce to you the next generation vertebral distraction pump instruments, the VDP-PRO. Doctors around the world have been using the original vertebral distraction pump instruments in their practices since the late 1990s, when Dr. Bruce Broughton released his first case studies in the journal Chiropractic Technique and revealed them to the chiropractic profession. His simple but powerful invention continues to help well over 1,000 doctors around the world take exceptional care of their patients. The feedback and testimonies over the years has been remarkable, and we are pleased to announce the release of these new VDP-PRO instruments. If you've been wondering what you could do in your practice to better adjust and serve your patients, this is it. Your patients will love you. When you have the power of flexion distraction in the palm of your hand, you can reach right in and get it done at all spinal levels. Facet syndrome and adhesions, disc herniation, subluxation degeneration, you can help like never before. There's nothing else like it in the chiropractic profession. The VDP-PRO is a result of many years of research and development, and there have been many prototypes and modifications made. It fits beautifully in the doctor's hand, is lightweight and built to last. The original VDP models worked remarkably well for patients, but they did have a few challenges for doctors using them that needed some fixing. The VDP-PRO is made of die-cast aluminum with stainless steel legs that are designed to last a lifetime. So let's take a look. One issue was the original instruments were made of plastic. They were quite durable overall, but with heavy use, occasionally a leg would break, leaving our field doctors frustrated having to be without their instrument while they waited for a repair. Most of our current field doctors rely on them all day long in their practices, so we knew we had to make the new models unbreakable. Another issue is that the top of the handle was small and did not fit optimally, ergonomically, and comfortably in the palm and thenar areas of the doctor's hands. The VDP-PRO fits just right, and as you can see, the handle will allow just enough twist or rotation to follow the slight angle and contour of the doctor's palm and support a good strong grip of the instrument. There's also a durable but soft rubber grip on the top, giving it a really nice feel in the hand. Next, the original instrument was small at the yoke where the fingers go, so most doctors could only get 3 fingers in, usually leaving the index finger out of the action, making it more fatiguing to use repeatedly throughout the day. We opened up the yoke on the VDP-PRO, allowing all 4 fingers to get involved, making the operation much easier on the doctor's hand. The VDP-PRO instruments are very smooth and easy to use. Next, we learned that the adjustable slide mechanism on the original vertebral distraction pumps was not needed. In our research, we found that as doctors gained experience and confidence using them, most would set the slide to a 5 and leave it there, allowing the greatest amount of separation of the tips, and then use their own feel to distract the appropriate amount. Additionally, we learned that on some plus-size patients, even when set on the maximum setting, the number 5, the instrument allowed just barely enough separation of the tips to accomplish the necessary distraction. So on the VDP-PRO, we have eliminated the slide mechanism and have allowed a few more degrees of freedom that allows further separation of the tips and enables the doctor to successfully distract the spinal segments on larger patients. The preload springs in the handle have been modified as well. They are now the same in the lumbar and cervical instruments. After placing the 4 tips on the patient by depressing the handle and preloading the springs, the doctor can be assured that he or she is using at least the minimum amount of force necessary to penetrate the soft tissue layers. Doctors who are new to using the VDP-PRO have really appreciated this feature. Lastly, we have modified the rubber tips and now have a universal tip design for both the cervical and lumbar instruments. The original designs had a flattened surface, especially large on the lumbar VDP, which we found did not allow an optimal depth of penetration into the layers of the tissue over the spine. The newly designed bullet nose shaped rubber tips penetrate deeper into the tissue, including the often tough myofascia. This allows the tips to efficiently grasp the soft tissue and not slip as they are separated, so we can achieve the desired distraction force and ultimately release the myofascia, open up the facet joints, and decompress the disc spaces. What has remained the same on the VDP-PRO instruments is how remarkably they work. The geometry of the VDP-PRO is the same as well. And like the original instruments, once again, the doctor can simply and easily flex and distract virtually all levels of the spine and help relieve some of the most difficult to adjust spinal subluxation degeneration issues that make life miserable for our patients. The cervical VDP-PRO instrument is useful from approximately T6 up to C2 and 3. And the gold lumbar VDP instrument is useful from approximately T7 down, of course, to the sacrum. This varies, of course, on the size of the patient. So it is out with the old and in with the new. We are confident that doctors will find the VDP-PRO is a great investment in their practices and that their patients will appreciate the relief and correction they can deliver all day long. Thank you for your interest in the VDP-PRO.